Right, well, the Easter Monday visit of Claycross has resulted in a 0-0 draw. I think both sides had chances to score. Neither side did in the end. How did you feel it was different from Saturday?
Um, not loads difference, Benny. To be honest with you, I think we showed in spells, particularly first half, more energy. We got about them a little bit more. To be honest with you, I thought it was a perfect opportunity to pick up 3 points. They've got nothing to play for. Long trip, played Saturday, 12 players, 11 players on the pitch, then plus fair play to him, the chairman owner on the bench. You got to win those games, Benny. We got to put them to the sword the first half. We should be at least 2 up, I would say. But you don't take your chances. You then naturally put yourselves under a little bit of pressure. Then second half we still had some good chances. Just poor finishing, really poor finishing, poor execution, and sometimes poor decisions. Yeah, and then to be fair, the owner / chairman, he should score at the end. He should score, and then we get nicked off 1-0. Same story, different games, Benny. And how many times I've had to say that about the small margins and the fact that we create loads of chances. Brilliant that we create chances. I can't fault the endeavour, right? I can't fault it. But we're better than just having a bit of endeavour in terms of what we put on the football pitch week in, week out. And I think we've just got to show a lot more ruthlessness. And that's what I want to see in the next 2 games. And that's what I've said to the players.
Is there a difference in this game if Rodrigo had stayed on the pitch? Unfortunately, he seemed to pick up an injury in the first half.
Yeah, he felt a little bit of tight, maybe a little slight pull in his hamstring. Possibly. He did start really well, and I thought he had the better of the fullback, and obviously then they changed it. They put the 2 inside midfield, put the 4 out there, and then obviously when Amir had to go there and when Rod was there, they then doubled up, which was a little bit more difficult. Fair play for them to just spotting it, etc. But we had 2-3 chances before then to get a goal up, which then means they're probably less likely to do that because they need to come out and they need to try and score an equaliser, essentially, which then gives more space. I just think sometimes we just need a little bit more. Not endeavour, a little bit more desire to make those runs, to want to finish. But I also think it does come down to conditioning as well. And I said that to the boys. I think there's times where they lack the finish, or they lack the cross, or they lack the pass because they're fatigued and they're not conditioned in the way that they need to be to then make that pass. And that could be a horrible feeling. I've been there where you don't feel fit. Probably the last 2-3 years I played, I've probably felt like that. But you sometimes have a little bit more experience about you to get yourself through and knowing when to make the run and when not to make the run, and what type of pass you should play, because you've got the experience. We've got a lot of younger lads, which concerns me at times that they're not fit enough. So I do question how well they're looking after themselves, how many go to the gym, all that sort of stuff, keep themselves in tip-top shape. Some do, some don't. I know that. It's frustrating. And I think second half, I think first half in spells we played some really good stuff. I think second half was a bit of a tough watch, to be honest with you. It certainly was a tough watch for me, and I don't want the supporters going away thinking that I'm accepting drawing 0-0 today, because I'm not. They're the type of games where we want to get to. The game should be done at half time, so I can make some changes. I'm a little bit frustrated, really.
Just a quick word on today's goalkeeper, Lewis Elsom, who our fans may remember played for us once a few years ago, but obviously he's come in and is, he looked fairly confident when he's, certainly with his kicking, because I've had comments that said he probably gave it a bit too much in the second half.
Yeah. Look, I've spoken to Lewis for a while in terms, obviously, with the situation with Aaron, in terms of helping us out, and he signed on for us, and then he was still just playing a few games at Coventry Sphinx, but then their number one got got fit again. So then obviously they brought him back in, and Lewis said to me he was available, and look, he took the chance in terms of, you know, believing in actually, like, I want to come and play, etc. So, you know, I wanted to give him the opportunity today. I thought Azza did really well on Saturday. Nothing he could have done with the goals or anything like that, and I thought he did well. But I just wanted to give Lewis the opportunity just to have a look at him as well. I personally thought, apart from probably, you know, mere first half was really dangerous and spells second half, Luke Harris, I thought, just ran his socks off all game, great energy. I'd probably say Lewis, I think he's probably our best player today, in my opinion. I thought he was solid. I thought he did everything right. Even with the corner where the referee, he's counted to one and then brought it back. It's like, you can't count to one, and equally, when he's counted one, the ball's not even in Lewis's hands. I thought his talking was really good start. I just thought he brought a lot of confidence, and, you know, let's see what we do next week in terms of goalkeeper selection. You know, as I say, he's not done anything wrong at all, and I thought he did really well coming back in after a bit of a stint away for obvious reasons. But yeah, no, you know, credit to Lewis today. I thought he did really well.
Well, the trip to Belper, our final away game of the season, would have been our final away game of the season, full stop, but for the rearrangement of the Ashby game 2 weeks today. They're on the playoffs. You know, they'll be looking for points to solidify that position. So it's going to be a tough one at Eastwood.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. We're good on 3G though. You know, I don't think, apart from Sherwood, I don't think we're probably lost on 3G this year. So. We'll go and make a good account of ourselves. And I've said to the supporters in the bar, and I've said to the players, I said, you know me, boys, like, standard's a standard, and I'm not gonna shy away from what I'd expect. My expectations, whether we've got anything to play for or not, is not going to be any different. So you need to make sure you come in fully prepared, ready to go and get 3 points. You know, I want to get 3 points there, 3 points, and then in the following game, in our final game at home to Ashby. Belper's going to be a tough game. You know, they've now secured their place in the playoffs. Fair play to them. You know, especially I think probably since the turn of the year they've been in some really good form, and it'll be a good test for us to see where we're at. And obviously they can probably look at it in two ways. They can either look at it in terms of, you know, we're going to rest players for the following week. I think the week playoffs is the 18th. But equally, they might look at it and go, you know what, we want to try and finish fourth or third, which they can mathematically still do, which would then obviously mean that they potentially, if they finish third, they're going to get a home tie, or they might think that they'd rather play the third team than the second team. They've got all those things to think about, and I wish we were in that position, of course. But it'd be a good parameter to see where we're at, and we'll go there, you know, full of confidence, endeavour, and hopefully better execution. And the next two games will also give me the opportunity to shuffle the pack and just have a look at certain things, certain individuals, just to see where they're at.